My name is Jackie Betts and I'm the city administrator. I want to welcome everyone. And before we get started, I'm going to ask our current city council president to please open the meeting.
I call to order the Gladstone City Council meeting of January 10th, 2023 at 6:33 p.m.
Thank you, Counselor. So tonight we're going to begin with administering the oath of office to 4 newly elected officials. The Honorable Judge Lindgren will do the swearing in. And first, we would like to ask Michael Milch, our mayor-elect, to come up.
To do it in front of the camera so that the public watching at home can see. Okay, so please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Michael Milch,
I, Michael Milch,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Oregon
and the state of Oregon
and the Charter and Municipal Code of the City of Gladstone,
and the Charter and Municipal Code of the City of Gladstone,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
perform the duties of mayor
perform the duties of mayor
for the City of Gladstone, Oregon,
for the City of Gladstone, Oregon,
during my entire term.
during my entire term,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Mayor Milch, you can take your place at the dais.
Yeah, we need to have both of them sign.
We're gonna do 2 signed copies while you're both here. You have to do it before you do anything official. Otherwise I'll get in trouble.
Sure.
One goes to the mayor.
All right, next, we would like to ask Vanessa Huckabee, who's counselor-elect for position number 1, to come up.
Wanna hold it? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Vanessa Huckabee,
I, Vanessa Huckabee,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Oregon
and the state of Oregon
and the Charter and Municipal Code
and the Charter and Municipal Code
of the City of Gladstone,
of the City of Gladstone,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
perform the duties of City Councilor
perform the duties of City Councilor
for the City of Gladstone, Oregon,
for the City of Gladstone, Oregon,
during my entire term.
during my entire term,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. First, and I'll sign after. Thank you. Frame it.
Thank
In
you.
the office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, we ask that Veronica Reichel, counselor-elect for position number 3, come up.
Counselor Huckabee get
I know,
settled.
right?
Okay, please raise your right hand. And how do I pronounce your last name?
Reichel.
Reichel, okay. I, Veronica Reichel,
I, Veronica Reichel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Oregon,
and the state of Oregon
and the Charter and Municipal Code
and the charter and the municipal code
of the city of Gladstone,
of the city of Gladstone.
and that I will,
And
to-
that I will, oh, sorry,
it's okay, and that I will,
that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
perform the duties of city councillor
perform the duties of city councillor
for the city of Gladstone, Oregon,
for the city of Gladstone, Oregon
during my entire term.
during my entire term.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay. This one.
Yours is right there.
Thank you.
And finally, we would like to ask Luke Roberts, council-elect for position number 5, to come up.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Luke Roberts,
I, Luke Roberts,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Oregon,
and the state of Oregon,
and the Charter and Municipal Code of the city of Gladstone,
and the Charter and Municipal Code of the city of Gladstone,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
perform the duties of city councillor
that I will perform the duties of city councillor
for the city of Gladstone, Oregon,
for the city of Gladstone, Oregon,
during my entire term.
during my entire term.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I will.
Okay, let's switch. Okay, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would like to present to you the 2023 City of Gladstone City Council. Take just a minute to take pictures, and then we're going to get ready for regular city business.
I recognize that some of you may primarily have come tonight to see the swearing in rather than the business meeting itself. And if that's the case, none of us will be offended if you leave early. But thank you for your support of all the candidates of this process and for being here tonight to make this a special occasion for us. So thank you to all of you who came. All right, the meeting having been called to order by Council President Garlington, we'll move along. We gratefully acknowledge the Clackamas, Chinook, and Kalapuya Native peoples on whose ancestral homelands we gather. We recognize their accomplishments as the native stewards of these lands, as well as the diverse and vibrant Native communities who make their home here today. Without a full representation of everyone's experience, we will never be able to design and develop a better future. The City of Gladstone is abiding by guidelines set forth in House Bill 2560, which requires the governing body of the public body, to the extent reasonably possible, to make all meetings open, accessible remotely through technological means, and provide opportunity for members of the general public to remotely submit oral and written testimony during meetings to the extent in-person oral and written testimony is allowed. Therefore, this meeting will be open to the public, both in person and virtually using the Zoom platform. The Zoom access instructions can be found on the meeting agenda. Members of the City Council, staff, and the public all have access to this call. Public comment requests were accepted prior to noon today and were to include your topic and phone number. We appreciate you taking the time to participate in this process. We will have you muted until it is your time to speak. If we are not able to mute you, please do so on your end. Attendees will still be able to speak for 3 minutes during business from the audience or during agenda items if they submitted their request to speak before noon today. Tonight, we will start with the consent agenda, which includes approval of December 13, 2022 regular minutes, approval of November bank balances, budget report for period ending 11/30/2022, approval of November check register, department head monthly reports for December 2022. And then our regular meeting agenda includes the monthly report from Clackamas Fire District Number 1, the selection of City Council President per Chapter 3, Section 9 of the Gladstone City Charter, consideration of approval of the 2023 to 2025 budget calendar, discussion regarding City Council liaison appointments, appointments to boards, commissions, and committees, and discussion regarding the creation of an ad hoc committee to review the Gladstone City Council rules in conformity with the new Gladstone City Charter, and update on City Council goal setting. Tammy Bandit, could you please call the roll?
Counselor Huckabee,
Present.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Counsel Reichel,
That's okay. Here.
Yes.
Counselor Hartman, Counselor Roberts,
Here.
Counselor Garlington,
Here.
Mayor Milch.
Present. Let's stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we ask for if there are any additions or corrections to the agenda of the meeting. I will like to announce that I received a text today from Councilor Anessa Hartmut, who indicated that because of a required meeting she has to go to as a state legislature, she would be unable to attend tonight's meeting. She also sent a letter to the council that she asked me to read tonight. And I have to find it on my iPad, and that'll take just a minute. Mayor Milch, councilors, Gladstone City staff, and Gladstone residents. In 2020, I made the ultimate decision to run to be one of Gladstone's city councilors. I ran with a conviction that we must have diverse representation at all levels of government. Diversity in socioeconomic background, diversity in lived experience, diversity in abilities, diversity in age, and so much more. I wanted to show myself and others that people like me deserve a seat at the table. When I became elected, I had no idea of the uphill battles that I and the community would face. And I can't help but acknowledge that if it weren't for some of these toxic and disappointing moments, that new and inspiring leadership may not have emerged. Because in times of great adversity, we see the true nature of those around us. Mayor Milch, Councilor Huckabee, Councilor Reichel, and Councilor Roberts, I look forward to working with you and seeing how your leadership takes this city into a positive and inclusive future. Councilor Garlington and Councilor Alexander, I am thankful for the opportunity to have served with you and look forward to continuing to work with you from the state legislature. Administrator Betts and all of our wonderful staff, thank you for all that you do. Without each and every one of you and your dedication to Gladstone, we would be lost. Due to my committee assignments in the legislature, it is a bittersweet decision that I must resign from my council seat, position number 4, effective immediately. I am so grateful for my time as a city councilor, and I am eager to continue to fight for Gladstone as your state representative. Nyahweh, which means I am thankful. Anessa Hartman. Councilor Hartman, having submitted a written resignation from her seat on the council, I will recognize a motion from councilors to declare a vacancy for council seat number 4.
So moved.
It has been moved by Councilor Garlington. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Councilor Huckabee. Any discussion? Tammy, will you call the roll?
Counselor Huckabee,
Yes.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Garlington,
Yes.
Mayor Milch.
Yes. So with regret, we accept the resignation of Councilor Hartman. According to the terms of our city charter, because there are more than 17 months remaining on Councilor Hartman's term for the seat number 4, our charter requires us to hold an election in the nearest November election to elect a replacement. And in the interim, to appoint a councilor to serve until the person elected in November can take office. I would like to instruct the city recorder to take the steps necessary to arrange for a November election and instruct the city administrator to take the steps necessary according to our charter and our municipal code to solicit applicants for the vacancy to be filled. Our city code, our municipal code requires us to notify the public of the vacancy, accept applications, consider those applications, perhaps using interviews, and then to vote as a council to appoint a new city councilor. Are there comments from other councilors on the process? Are we in agreement?
I have a question.
Yes.
Remind me what the timeline is of the applications and then the appointment.
The charter recommends 2 weeks prior to, that the notice be given at least 2 weeks prior to the due date of the applications. And we would probably want them returned in time to be able to include them in the agenda of our regular February meeting. So
Is that what Chad also agrees with?
is Chad on the screen?
Yes.
I am.
Our screens aren't on, by the way.
It will be.
Okay. Chad, do you want to weigh in on this, please? Our city attorney, Chad Jacobs.
Sure, Mayor. Thank you. And congratulations, everybody, and welcome to the City Council. Yes, you've outlined the process. Under the municipal code, the ordinance requires that you give at least 2 weeks time period for applications to be submitted before you can consider them. So anytime after that 2 weeks notice has been provided, you are free to consider the applications. Interviews are optional. That is up to the discretion of the council. And then the council would vote as a body to appoint the next person, who would then serve until the replacement is elected at the November election, as you outlined.
All right, very good. Well, city staff, you have your marching orders on that particular issue. Thank you so much. All right, next we will consider the consent agenda, including the approval of the minutes, the November bank balances, budget report, check register, and department head monthly reports for December 2022. We have a lot of first-time attendees tonight. I want to commend to you the department head reports that are a part of our regular meeting, the first meeting of each month. This is where we really find out the work that's being done by our city staff in a variety of ways throughout this community. We don't hear direct oral reports from them on a regular basis, but if you want to know what's going on, these are well-written reports often with photographs, good statistics, good data. It's an opportunity to know what's really happening behind the scenes in our community. Is there a motion to approve or does any counselor want to remove any item from the consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion. We approve the consent agenda.
All right.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilor Alexander, seconded by Councilor Garlington. Any objections to approving the consent agenda? All right, I will declare it approved by unanimous consent. Next up on our agenda is item number 6, a report from Clackamas Fire District number 1, Chief Nick Brown and Assistant Fire Chief Brian Stewart. Please come forward and be sure to turn on the microphone. You know the routine by now.
Thanks, Mayor.
Good evening. My name is Mike Bauer. I'm a captain with down at Gladstone Fire Station. I just wanted to, Chief Stewart usually comes up here with me, but today I got Chief Brown, so that's awesome. Yeah, so what I want to do is just take the chance to say congratulations to the new counselors and Mr. Mayor. Very excited to work with you folks. I wanted to give you a little background about some new faces about how we've been doing this and what you'd like to see. But typically, like I said, I'll come here and I'll talk about some Gladstone specific things that happen within our Gladstone Fire Station. And then Chief Brown or Assistant Chief Stewart is back there in the back. He'll talk about kind of more global Gladstone things. So that's kind of how we do business when we come and do this. So and then as far as the captain in that position at Clackamas Fire, every fire station has one station captain, and that station captain oversees the personnel in that fire station and then is a kind of a community liaison to the community or the fire station area that they serve. And so I function as doing that. So I'm kind of the face of our fire district and our fire station down here, your local fire station. And I'm happy to answer questions and I'm excited to get to meet you guys and work with you. So with that, I'll move forward. Gladstone for call volume is one of our busier fire stations. We ran last month 149 calls within the city limits and 249 calls overall. So we kind of go into Oak Lodge and kind of downtown Oregon City a little bit to provide coverage. So that's a busy month. We had that wind event towards the end of December there that caused a lot of damage to our local residents' homes and infrastructure, lots of power lines down. So we were busy with that. We did help Tualatin Valley Fire Rescue, did a few mutual aid fires to West Lynn. So we try and be a good neighbor and help them, and then sometimes they'll have to come help us. So the other kind of PR things that we've done, I got the chance to sit down with Candy Tracy and the Meanwhile in Gladstone Facebook page, which I'm told is kind of your local news. And I got to have an interview with Elf on the Shelf. It was awesome. We talked about fire extinguishers and carbon monoxide detectors. And anyway, it was pretty fun. And I think it got a lot of views. I don't know, I hope. But yeah, so overall, that's kind of the quick down and dirty Gladstone report. I'd like to extend an invitation to the new counselors, and even the old counselors, to come by the fire station anytime, have a cup of coffee, meet our crews, get to know your local firefighters. We are happy to be here. We love the community and just the unique kind of atmosphere here in Gladstone. It's awesome. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Nick Brown about kind of that global Clackamas fire report.
Awesome. Thanks, Cap. Especially that shaved ice across from the fire station. We really, really love that. So I'd like to echo what Captain Bauer said about the new mayor and the new council. Welcome. Okay. That's awesome congratulations. I look forward to getting to know you better. So what Captain Bauer didn't say is that he taught me everything that I know. So really excited about Captain Bauer and his leadership out of that station. He's one of the best captains that we have, and the ability that I get to serve side by side with him is absolutely amazing. So just a couple of things fire district wise that I wanted to update you on, and then I'm going to dive in just to a couple Gladstone specific things over the last 7 months that we've been able to be your fire department, and the honor that it's been to be able to serve you. The ice storm was really no joke. We responded to 468. That's my guy right there, right? 465 calls for service during that time frame, and it really stressed resources. But your Clackamas Fire Department was able to mitigate them all and handle them all. Crews were running nonstop, which tends to happen during events like that. Gladstone specific, it's been an amazing last 7 months of community engagement, like Captain Bauer said, involvement, getting to know the community, being able to attend all the community events. And what's really unique and awesome for us about the Gladstone community is just the vibe and how much you pour your heart and souls into this community. And we absolutely love it. And we absolutely love being a part of that. So thank you. For the last 7 months of service, we have responded to 908 calls for service. And I want to hone in on this little fact here, because as we talked about being able to provide that paramedic level service for Gladstone for the first time, I just want to throw a couple of numbers at you here for the last 7 months, which has included 214 shifts. So it's been 214 days. Out of those 214 days, we've had 6 of those days that have been staffed with 1 paramedic. We've had 112 days where it's been staffed with 2 paramedics. We've had 96 of those days where it's been staffed with 3 paramedics. So if you look at percentage wise, 3% of the time we've had 1 paramedic, 52% of the time it's been staffed with 2, and 45% of the time it's been staffed with 3 paramedics out of that fire station. And what that does and what that brings to that community is just a level to our community here is that level of expertise in the paramedicine field. I try to jump in there and get to work. And Captain Bauer always seems to nudge me and tell me to go back to the main office. But even I'm a paramedic as well. And Captain Bauer is a paramedic. And the pride that we have in being able to save lives, that's what our focus is. That's what your fire department's focus is being able to save lives and mitigate the emergencies that we face. And it is an honor for us to be able to serve you. I'd be happy to answer any questions or concerns that you have at this time.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Captain Bauer or Chief Brown?
I have a question. Of those 214 days, was it?
Yes,
214 days of the times you had 1, 2, and 3 paramedic staff?
yes.
Is there a trend to that one way or is that sporadic?
It's sporadic. We have the daily staffing of that is 2. So if somebody's on vacation,
Sure.
then that's where you get a little bit of dip. And sometimes we have about 75% of the Clackamas firefighters.
Mhm.
There's 238 firefighters. 75% are paramedic. And so it really depends on if somebody's taking a vacation day or calls in sick, who their backfill is that comes in. And so, yeah, that's really what the factor is right there.
Awesome.
We've always had one.
Always
At least
guaranteed one.
24/7,
Yeah, 24/7. That is the guarantee.
Mhm.
And that's what we came in, said is we will guarantee at least one, but we have a lot more paramedics than just one. Makes
Absolutely.
sense?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the question. That was a great question.
Other questions? All right, thank you very much for your report. It's good to, to see that this is working out great for the city, for the community at large, and that you continue to relate to other communities and which has always been the way that fire departments work together. So thank you very much. All right, we move to the regular agenda. Selection of city council president per chapter 3, section 9 of the Gladstone City Charter. The city of Gladstone adopted a new charter by the voters in 2021, which took effect last year. Under the old charter, we elected a city council president only at the beginning of every odd numbered year. The new charter wants to see a little more frequent turnover, I guess, because it now requires us to elect a council president every single year. So we will once again elect a council president, and I will open the floor to nominations from members of the council who would like to nominate someone to be city council president. And I'd like to begin by asking Councilor Vanessa Huckabee, would you be willing to serve as council president?
I would love the opportunity to do so.
Okay, well, consider yourself nominated. Are there other nominations from council members?
I would say, I don't know if we can, since she's been, but she did a pretty good job, Mindy.
Councilor Garlington. Okay, no, I don't think the charter does not prohibit us from electing the same person 2 years in a
Okay,
row.
all right.
All right, we have 2 nominations. Are there other nominations?
No.
All right. All right. What I'd like to do is let's do this the way that we've done appointments to our city boards and commissions. I'll ask each counselor through a roll call vote to vote for either Councilor Huckabee or Councilor Garlington. And if one of those nominees gets a majority of the votes, they will be considered elected. Tammy Bannock, can you call the roll, please?
Counselor Huckabee. Myself. Okay, Counselor Alexander,
Counselor Garlington.
Counselor Reichel,
Counselor Huckabee.
Counselor Roberts,
Counselor Huckabee.
Counselor Garlington,
I have no vote.
Mayor Melch.
Councilor Huckabee. We had, Tammy, could you announce the vote?
The council president, it will be Vanessa Huckabee.
All right. Thank you very much. The council president will serve will preside over the meetings in the absence of the mayor. So thank you very much, Councilor Huckabee. Next item. Item number 8, consider approval of the 2023-2025 budget calendar. Staff, please.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Welcome to being an elected official. And oh, by the way, we're going through a budget process starting next month. So what you have before you tonight is a proposed budget calendar. We are very fortunate in Gladstone that we adopt a biennium budget, 2 years. And we've outlined the dates that we would like to begin this process. We originally were going to bring this to you February 14th, which is why you see that date. We got this done ahead of time, so we're actually considering and approving the budget for tonight. It outlines for your calendars when the budget committee meetings will be, and the very important one that we have scheduled is the role of the budget committee, which will help out the elected officials and those who also are volunteers on our committee. So all we need you to do tonight is simply approve the budget, and staff will go forward on preparing the documents and the meetings.
All right, I'll give council members a chance to look over this proposed calendar for the budget process. It involves training and explanation, a good orientation to the process itself, and then meetings where we work with staff in hearing budget requests and electing the officials that will be involved in the budget committee itself. The election of the committee will come a little bit later on in today's meeting, at least appointment of possible appointment of some members. So are there any questions from city councilors about the proposed calendar for the budget process? As you may know, the city council members and an equal number of people who are not elected officials serve on the budget committee. And we appoint the lay people to that committee. All right, is there a motion to approve the budget calendar as presented, amended by staff with the change of date to today's date for the consideration of the approval?
All motion.
Okay, it's been moved to accept this budget calendar. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Councilor Reichel moved. Councilor Huckabee seconded the motion to approve the budget calendar as amended and presented by staff. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? It has passed unanimously.
I think we.
Do we need a roll call vote? Okay,
Yes.
we'll do it. So I was going to say we'll just reflect that everybody voted in favor, but we'll do a roll call. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. Counselor Garlington,
Yes.
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Alexander.
Yes.
Counselor Huckabee,
Yes.
Mayor Milch.
Yes. I won't make that mistake again.
No worries.
All right. Item number 9 is appointment of council liaison. Now, we generally do this once a year near the beginning of the year. There are a number of boards, commissions, and also regional committees to which the council sends liaisons in order to improve the communication between the council and those bodies that in some cases help to advise us, in some cases have interests similar to ours. We have a planning retreat coming up this weekend. I think I'd like to give, my preference would be to give the council a little bit more time to think about the areas where you would like to serve and the areas where we feel it's important to have liaisons. But it may be important to have representatives on some of the existing boards and agencies right now. Have you given some thought to this, and what is your pleasure? We've not discussed this prior to this, and I want to know, are you thinking about areas where you'd like to be able to serve?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Are you proposing, Mayor Milch, that we open this up to a discussion at our retreat as a council where we discuss kind of these roles and what they would look like, so we're not stepping on toes?
That might be a good way to do it. We are pretty new in the process. I don't know all of you well enough to know what your strengths, your interests, your real desires are. And although it is something where technically we say it's appointed by the mayor, but it's really approved by the council itself. The mayor appoints council committees, but not these others. What do you think? Do you think it would be emerge from the council retreat a little more knowledge and awareness of where your strengths are and where you'd like to serve?
That would be my preference.
Okay.
We can avoid stepping on toes and getting in each
Yeah.
other's way that way.
Yeah.
Be a little more efficient.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm hearing a consensus to do it that way. So take this list that shows the current council appointments. You know who's no longer on the council. You know who has served in some of these places in the past and may want to continue to serve. But let's come prepared this weekend to talk about this more and to make these appointments, or to begin to make them at that time. They can be officially approved at a regular meeting rather than a retreat setting, but that will be a publicly noticed meeting and we'll be doing it in the eyes of the public. All right, we have a similar item. Number 10 is the selection process for appointments to vacant boards, committees, and commission positions in 2023. City Administrator Betts, would you like to take us through this one, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor and City Council. So typically the city advertises for vacant positions on these boards, committees, and commissions in November. The City Council appoints them in December, so they're ready to go in January. After the November election, when it was apparent that we were going to have 4 new elected officials, the former City Council recommended that we wait until you are all seated and allow you the opportunity to appoint the volunteers to the boards, committees, and commissions. Over the holidays, before the holidays, we advertised for the positions. They closed in December. We made you a packet of all the applications so that over the holidays, you had an opportunity to review who had applied for which positions. So the applications that you have in the packet tonight are those that we provided to you before the holidays. I want to talk a little bit about, we have 14 vacancies on our committees. There are currently 4 positions for the Budget Committee, 2 positions for the Planning Commission, 2 positions on the Senior Center Advisory Board, 3 positions for the Traffic Safety Board, 1 position for the Audit Committee. And since you received your packet, it was 2 positions on Parks and Recreation. However, we had a resignation yesterday. So you have 3 positions. So there's 15 vacancies in total. I'm going to talk about the proposed ad hoc committee after we get through this appointment process, because I have a suggestion that I would like to propose to you. What we're going to do now is the city recorder is going to have a score sheet up on the screen, and we will take it 1 committee at a time. And we'll start with the Budget Committee. And I want to preface that even though we have vacancies and we did not receive enough applications for all the committees, you don't have to select somebody just because. You have the right to say yes or no on the applicants that are in your packet. So does anybody have any questions before we start with the Budget Committee? Okay. So I would suggest, Ms. Bannock, that you go ahead. We have 1 application received for 4 vacant positions.
I show we have 1 application that we received from Jacob Weiss. I will go down and ask each counselor yes or no for Mr. Weiss. Mayor Milch,
Yes.
Counselor Huckabee,
Yes.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Garlington,
Yes.
I counted 6 yes votes. So Jacob Weiss is appointed to the Budget Committee.
And I want to do a little plug here because you just adopted the budget calendar that state law requires that you have an equal number of citizens to elected officials. So typically in Gladstone, that means we need 14 people to be on the budget committee. Since right now you only have 6, we could go with 12, but that may be appointed by the time we start our budget process. If anybody is interested and lives in Gladstone and wants to be part of this process, please reach out to them because we still have 3 openings that we need to fill before we get started in April for the budget process.
And City Administrator Betts, you and I talked briefly about the fact that some government groups that have the same requirement of having equal number of non-elected officials to elected officials, the elected officials themselves seek out applicants, sort of each one is assigned the responsibility of giving one. I know that's the way our local school board does it. You indicated you had an experience similar to that with another school board at one time early in your career. So that's another thing we might want to consider is if council members themselves know of people in the community who could serve the community well by being on this budget committee with us and with whom you're comfortable working in a committee setting, I'd invite you to seek out people and help us to fill those vacancies. We will continue to advertise for vacancies as well. But I think this is the one committee where we serve directly one-to-one with the members of that committee. And it's good that we get involved in that process of helping to recruit them. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, the next board is the Planning Commission, and we have 3 applications for 2 positions. And I want to also reiterate that all terms expire on 2026, except Planning Commission. Mayor Milch was on the Planning Commission and had to resign his position. So his position is being filled and that expires on 2023. So you will be filling 2 positions. One will be for 2026 and one will be for 2023. So when you choose 2 people, we will need to specify which one you want for the 2023 term and which one for the 2026 term.
Councillor Garlington.
Patrick Smith for 2026 and Jacob Weiss for 2023.
Councillor Roberts.
I'll follow Councillor Garlington's lead.
Councillor Reichel.
I'm voting the same way.
Councillor Alexander.
Yeah, I'm following suit.
Councillor Huckabee.
Same for me.
Mayor Milch.
Yes, I also support Commissioner Smith getting renewed for the longer term and newcomer, Mr. Weiss, with whom I've worked in planning issues in the past for the shorter new term. So I think we're all on the same page on this.
Mr. Mayor, can I interject for one quick second? I apologize.
Yes.
There is a provision in state law related to the budget committee that prohibits members of the budget committee from otherwise being officers, agents, or employees of the city. And so since you just appointed Mr. Weiss to the budget committee, there may be an issue with him also serving on the planning commission. I'm happy to take a closer look at that, but I would maybe suggest that you hold off on this appointment until your next meeting so I can give you better advice about that issue.
Well, for a while, I chaired the Planning Commission and chaired the Budget Committee both. The Budget Committee is the one place in our city rules where we have said that you could serve on two committees simultaneously, or we tell people they can serve on two committees, but the budget committee doesn't count as one of those two. So I would appreciate you giving us more insight into that if
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an issue related to state law, and it's really an issue related to the planning commission and whether planning commissioners are deemed officers of the city or not, just because they generally exercise more authority than your other boards and commissions in the city. So it may be absolutely fine, but I'd hate to have you make an appointment, then have to rescind it. So, you know, if you can just give me a little bit of time to give you some advice on that, and then you can make this appointment at the next meeting.
All right, thank you very much.
Mayor, I'd like to appoint Mr. Weiss on the planning and rescind the budget. I think we need to seat our planning.
Okay, you want to do
That would
that?
absolutely be an option as well.
Okay.
All right, since we only appointed one person to the budget committee,
We are going to all try our best to, find people to help us out. I would prefer that we move him to the planning with Mr. Smith, and then ask humbly that people sitting in our audience step up and help us on the budget, which isn't huge. It takes a few meetings and seat these other two people. How that would happen, I'm sorry, how that would happen is, let us know. Let me know if anybody else is in agreement, or no, we just stay with what we're doing.
no, I think it's a good suggestion. Others want to?
I
weigh in
think
on
it's a
this?
great idea. Yes. Fill the planning commission and go. Yeah.
All right,
work on
so is there a motion to reconsider the appointment of Jacob Weiss to the budget committee?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, it's been moved to reconsider that vote. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Tammy, it's been moved and seconded to reconsider our vote on appointment of Jacob Weiss to the planning commission, or to the budget committee. Tammy, will you do a call the roll?
Counselor Huckabee,
A yes vote is to remove him from the budget, right?
to
and add
remove
to
him
that.
from the budget and appoint him to the planning commission.
Yes.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Garlington.
Yes.
Mayor Milch.
Yes. Thank you, Councilor Garland, for that good suggestion. I think that unwinds this in a way that we're all happy with. So we have elected Pat Smith and Jacob Weiss to the Planning Commission. Mr. Smith for the 2026 and Mr. Weiss for the 2023. And we still have the number of vacancies we started with for the Budget Committee. All right, let's move to the next one.
Okay. Senior Center Advisory Board, there are 4 applications for 2 positions, all terms ending 2026. So you will need to select your 2.
I will say this is one of those issues that's the hardest for me. We always want to invite and involve new people, but we also want to take the benefit of, have the benefit of people who have served in the past. So I understand if you are torn on this one, and we don't mean to, depending on how we vote, well, I won't say anything more about that. We'll just put it to a vote.
Okay, let's start with Counselor Alexander.
I would choose McMullen and Prosky.
Counselor Reichel,
I'm going to go. Yeah, this one was hard. I will go with McMullen and Prosky as well.
Counselor Roberts,
I'll continue the trend.
Counselor Garlington,
I'm the same vote.
Counselor Huckabee,
Same vote as well.
Mayor Milch.
McMullen and Prosky. And our Senior Center Advisory Board, this is what has been one of the most active groups engaged in some of the most exciting new programming in the last couple of years. I'm sure there will be opportunities for interested volunteers to serve in many capacities other than just the advisory board. And of course, their meetings are all open to the public, so people can come and be involved in any way. But applicants McMullen and Prosky are reappointed to serve on the Senior Center Board.
And I will add that this weekend you will hear from our community services manager that has a desire to expand that advisory board in the future. And so that's going to create opportunity to have more people on that committee as well. So thank you for that, Mayor. The next one is the Traffic Safety Advisory Board. You have one application for 3 positions.
So this will be another yes or no vote.
Yes or no, correct. Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Garlington,
Yes.
Counselor Huckabee,
Yes.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Mayor Milch.
Yes. So Mindy Prosky is appointed to the Traffic Safety Advisory Board.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the proposed ad hoc committee. The city adopted a new charter per its voters, and last May of 2022, the Gladstone City Council had the city attorney review the city charter to make sure it conformed to the city council rules. We adopted an ordinance to clean up some of the housekeeping or Scribner's errors that were in that charter. However, there were 4 areas that still needed to be looked at in the city council rules. And without going into a lot of details of what those 4 areas were, the council decided to get the community involved with reviewing the city council rules. Therefore, we advertised for an ad hoc committee to do so. We received 1 application, which is not enough for an ad hoc committee. But given that we have a new city council with 4 elected officials and that we really need to spend some time going over our current city council rules with the city attorney, in my opinion, this could be something that we put on a work session for the current council to review and see if you can come to an agreement on the 4 areas that the city attorney recommended. That way you wouldn't have to solicit. I'd rather we focus on applications for our current boards and committees. And this would be an opportunity for the new city council to review their own rules in a work session.
All right, we have that recommendation from staff. Are there comments from city councilors on this?
I just have
Councilor
one question.
Oh, Councilor Alexander.
What's a committee consist of? Is there a certain, does it have to be a minimum of 3, 5, 7? I mean, what?
There doesn't have to be a minimum, and it depends on the purpose. But typically for our committees, there's 7 people on our committees. So in my opinion, if we had received 5 or 6, I would say let's make this happen. But the interest is not there. Reviewing council rules is probably not at the top of everybody's wish list to do that. But again, I think that given that we have a new council and we do need to go through those, and if you follow your own rules and we make some decisions on those areas where we need to discuss conformity to the new charter, I'm confident that this group would be able to make those decisions on their own.
Councilor Garlington, you had a question?
Well,
comment?
I just like to say that I think that I like the idea. And one of the reasons I do is as a council, I think if you've got say and input into what rules are being applied, I think that and to understand them more, I think it's important that we do that. And I served with some other people in this room on the charter review committee for almost more than a year. and Mr. Jacobs as well. And he did a really good job at guiding us in that. And I think that he would be able to guide this group very easily in making decisions for us. And I'm pretty sure that we can come to a consensus on our behavior or our rules or our, how we need to do things like that. I mean, that's basically what it is. And pretty sure we can do it if everybody's got the time. I would never speak for anyone else's time, but I would make the time, and I would hope that everybody else maybe could find a couple hours in their day to do the same thing.
The last time we went through this process was in 2017. And actually at that time, 4 city council members wanted to be on the committee. So we had to break into 2 committees with 2 on one and 2 on the other. And we had members of the public, myself included. I was not a counselor at the time, serving on that committee. And Tammy Bannock was staff for it, along with, I believe it was Chad Jacobs or maybe others from the city attorney's office. So I would have applied for this if I had not been elected mayor. So it's not that unpopular a committee. But I appreciate the comments and your suggestion, Jackie. I think that if we do it, particularly if we focus on the areas where there is a possible conflict, so we can resolve that. And then we commit ourselves to abiding by the rules that we have. It's a good set of rules, especially regarding decorum in the council. I don't think we're going to find a need to make too many major changes. And I agree with Mindy, Councilor Garlington, that working with staff and particularly the city attorney, we should be able to resolve these things pretty quickly on a work session time or within our normal schedule. So I'm hearing a consensus that that's the way we'll do it. Let's see. Okay. Is there a motion to instruct staff to prepare a future work session on a revision of our council rules?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Councilor Huckabee moved, Councilor Roberts seconded, that we ask staff to prepare a future work session on revision of our council rules. Tammy, will you call the roll for a vote?
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Garlington,
Yes.
Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Counselor Huckabee,
Yes.
Mayor Milch.
Yes. It's approved by unanimous vote of the council. All right, item 11, update on city council goal setting session, City Administrator Betts.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item really was placed on the agenda for the benefit of the public, because I wanted to share that after these individuals were elected and our current elected officials, they spent a lot of time getting prepared for tonight. And part of that was the city engaging a facilitator that is going to lead us through a process on Friday afternoon and half of the day on Saturday to give this council an opportunity to set the goals for us for the next 2 years. We're very proud that all of them agreed that they wanted to do this. All members of the management team are going to be present. Our city attorney is going to be involved. And I just wanted to share with you, the agenda is posted on the website. It will be an informal setting in this room where we will all be in a circle. And it is not going to be on Zoom. If people want to attend, they can. There is no public comment on that. But what I wanted to let you know is that the facilitator spent time with each of them individually. And here is the synergy on the retreat outcomes. Establish a shared understanding of the community context as the basis for goal setting. Develop a focused list of shared goals and priorities to guide the organization. Review and discuss the roles and responsibilities of council and staff, and build a collaborative and aligned team between the council and staff to advance the council's goals and support a high-performing team. So I just wanted to let the public know they are committed to all of you in the community. They're committed to staff, and we are very excited about this retreat that is coming up.
Thank you, Administrator Betts. By the very fact of their election, members of governing bodies are community leaders. Community leadership is more than just occupying an elective office. It means a governing state of mind that is always asking, how can I work with my fellow counselors, other jurisdictions, various community organizations, and businesses to leverage all of our community resources and assets to advance the common good for the present community and the next generation. That's why we're all up here. Exercising this kind of community leadership requires strategic planning, civic engagement, and relationship building with community partners. So when we begin to appoint liaisons to some of our regional community groups, when we have a strategic planning event like this one that's coming up, that's what we're about. And that's where we will start and set the tone for a good year and multiple years ahead of working together as a council. So I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad it's one of the first things that we'll do together as a new council. All right, the next item on the agenda is, let's see, business carried forward. Is there any business carried forward?
I have nothing further. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then we have a public comment section of the meeting we call business from the audience. The public comment period is an essential part of our local government meeting. Members of the public deserve an opportunity to influence the thinking of elected and appointed officials. Elected officials have an obligation to maintain an open mind with the public and each other, and to provide a welcoming atmosphere for public comment. Making the public feel welcome is an important part of the democratic process. No signs of partiality, prejudice, or disrespect should be evident on the part of individual members towards an individual participating in a public forum. Every effort should be made to be fair and impartial in listening to public testimony. Our city administrator and clerk are taking notes in case an item requires further action. So Tammy Bannock, do we have people who signed up to make comments during business from the audience?
We've had one, and that is Bob Everett.
Okay, Bob Everett, please come forward. Please push the button on the microphone.
All right.
You have 3 minutes, but currently no competition, so do your best. Do your best to stick to
Well, good evening, everyone. Congratulations to everybody. And I know most of you, and I enjoy talking to each and every one, and I know everybody will do a good job, and good luck, that's for sure. So, and I'm excited about the new direction. I'm here for a couple reasons, but first of all, our club, our Gladstone Oak Lodge Rotary Club, is going to be starting a bingo tournament, and it's going to be every third Friday evening from 5:30 to 8 at the Senior Center. I think there are a couple smaller posters out there, but we've got a poster. I've got a poster here if anybody wants posters. We've got little handouts over there. Yes, and we're going to be, it's like what we did at the festival, which was very popular, but we will be serving food, hamburgers, hot dogs, and some drinks. In fact, the Rotary Club bought a grill for the Senior Center. I just purchased it last week that we're going to be storing there. They were excited to get it, and we're going to be actually cooking on that, and anybody else can use it throughout the course of their usage of the Senior Center. We're going to be raising funds for not only our club, but I'm also hopeful that we will get nonprofits who will participate, other nonprofits who are willing to participate, and we will split the profits from the bingo with them. So hopefully that will be a fundraiser and a great activity for the coming months. And again, it is every month, Friday night, third Friday night of the month. And we've got posters around, and it's also on Facebook. The second thing, and by the way, in February, we already have the graduation party. They're going to be participating with us. So hopefully we'll get more nonprofits. The second matter is, of course, our festival. Last year, I think we can all agree that the Gladstone Community Festival was very popular. Bryce did a wonderful job of organizing it, and I just sort of tagged along the best I could. And hopefully we will see the same support that we had before from the other council and from the city. We're already planning, we're already moving forward, and we've got things in the works. So we're excited to get going on that. Finally, as a business owner, a 30-year business owner, I'm hopeful that you can find a liaison that will work with the businesses, not only on Portland Avenue where I'm at, but also around in other areas. I must admit, throughout really the 30 years I've been here, it's been seldom that I've seen a counselor come down. So anyway, thank you very much. That's all I have to say. And again, congratulations. And if anybody would like to talk to me about anything, I'm always open to discussions of anything. That's for sure. So thank you. And we'll see you around. Okay. All righty. Thanks, everyone.
Dr.
Bye.
Everett, thank you
All
so
right.
much for
You
your
bet.
community-minded spirit.
Oh, we love it. I love it. I love doing things for this community.
And
So-
also that's helpful input when we talk about liaisons, we'll remember
Okay.
your
And
comment.
I expect to see all of you there on bingo, at least once in a while. So, all righty. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I might take a moment of personal privilege, I recognize that at the back of the room, our newly elected state senator, Mark Meek, is here with us tonight. Mark, would you like to come forward and share a few words?
Yes. For the record, Mark Meek, Gladstone citizen. And thank you, Mayor Milch, for the opportunity to welcome you and congratulate you on your new roles, both representing, our city and our community. And I want to actually just make sure we take a point, and I will want to just personally thank our former city councilors and our former mayor for their great dedication and work to our community. And as we turn the page and look forward to the work you're going to be continuing to do, I want to extend my, my support in that relationship as your new state senator. Your former counselor, Commissioner Hartman, is going to take my role as a state representative. And so I look forward to working with you and serving with you to make our community all that it can be. We are going to be in a heavy session coming up. I was given a great role as the Senate Finance and Revenue Chair of that committee. And that will work on, making sure we have I'm trying to build grow the pie that we can work with to do the services we need in this state, including our community. And so I appreciate the work you did to get our library going. And if you need any services at all or any help or support, I just wanted to let you know I'm here to help serve our community. I'm not sure if I can make it to bingo on Fridays, but but I do appreciate our school district and our fire department, Clackamas Fire 1, and Chief Schmerber and our Gladstone Police Department, all the great work that they're doing to keep us safe. And congratulate you. And actually, you never get too old to wear Spider-Man socks. My grandson gave me those. So just want to thank you so much and Godspeed to all the work you're going to do. And my door is open to willing to help in any way. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Meek. I really feel Gladstone is as well represented in the state legislature as we have ever been at any time. And so we are proud of you and Anessa, and we are happy as citizens to have that representation. So thank you for coming here tonight. All right. Next on the agenda is business from the council. This is the opportunity for council members to bring up any other items that we might want to consider in the future, or to inform us of other things that are going on in the community for the good of the order. So I will start. Let's see. I will start and just go at random. So Councilor Reichel, are you ready to?
Well, sure, but I really don't have anything.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. Councilor Alexander.
Yes, I'd just like to congratulate you and the new council members. You guys, a new night. It's like my first night nervous, but you guys asked good questions, made motions. You did great. Looked like you've been up here forever. So good job and keep up the great work.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Huckabee.
Not much for me tonight. I just wanted to thank everybody in the community for coming out and showing support. We're excited for 2023 and, some new changes in Gladstone. And thank you guys for all coming out.
Counselor Roberts.
Not much. I just wanted to thank the Gladstone voters for giving us this opportunity to serve our community. I want to say, as a younger council member, only 19 years old, I hope to champion the youth voice within our community. And so I want to thank you for that opportunity.
Counselor Garlington.
So,
Microphone. Thank you.
first of all, I want to start by saying that I got an email from Administrator Betts inviting me to go to a C4 meeting. And I'd always heard Mayor Stemple talk about C4 and how important it was. And I just took her word for it because I just took her word for it. And then I sat in on the meeting. Oh my gosh. And Mayor Milch sat in on the meeting as well. It's a lot. It is very important that Gladstone be at that table. We have to have our name on the letters that go down through the pike. It's important that Gladstone have a voice there. And so that'll be a really big ask of someone on this council to sit in on those meetings. Anyway, they talked a lot about tolling. If you have any concerns about tolling, that's where you go to hear it. That's where the collective of Clackamas County, the Happy Valley, the Westland, all of the mayors that were there and or council members, just because some of the people hadn't been seated quite like as we were. They play an important role as a collective. They have a huge voice and it's important, like I said, that we be there. So anyway, we learned a lot. I also spoke up about another topic on there is the housing. And I had brought up the fact that we had the Tukwila Springs here in Gladstone, that we had some concerns with it. And that's why we invited them to come back after 6 months to discuss with us what was going on. And we had a lot of reports from different people. And I had gotten some feedback from a couple of the mayors thanking me for speaking up on the subject and what was happening in Gladstone. And I invited them and I sent a note to Mr. Milch and to Administrator Betts that I had just basically emailed back and said, I really invite you to listen to our work session from November because it was really informative. A lot of questions got answered. Some of them maybe didn't get answered, but I felt like we had a really good laundry list of things that needed to happen and possibly, some correctiveness that could happen, and then invited them and strongly advised that the next housing unit that opened just have a little bit more hands-on at the time that it opened. Administrator Betts also had quite a laundry list of things that she had talked with some of the people at the Springs about. And I think that we're in a really good spot. So I don't feel like I overstepped my bounds with my reply. I just wanted to keep the communication open. And I want other people to know that this is a project that can work. You just have to constantly talk about what's good about it and what just quite didn't work. And that's okay, because that's what it's about from me. So I'd like to also talk about the Story Walk is a new Story Walk down at the Nature Park. It is Days and Days by Ginger Guy. You can take a stroll and read the pages, perform fun activities along the way. It is presented in partnership with the Friends of Gladstone Nature Park and the Gladstone Public Library Foundation. The Gladstone Food Pantry is located at the church on Glen Echo behind the Hillside Fellowship. You can pick up food on Thursdays at 3 o'clock and you can donate food on Wednesdays, 2 to 3:30. The Clackamas County Library Advisory Board meets via Zoom on the third Thursday of the month. That's another really interesting board that I work with. They're heavily, it's heavily cited towards Clackamas County, but not towards Clackamas County, I should not say that. We are one library, two locations. Let me be clear on that. They are they don't, the other facility is not as far along as Administrator Betts and Mayor Stemple had taken us on our library. We are so blessed to have that already in the works, and that ball is rolling really strong, where the Oak Lodge folks don't quite have all of that. If you've got opinions, bring them. Come and move our Clackamas County Board of County Commissioners to move that library facility further. Our libraries are the one place that the doors are open to everyone. Everyone can walk into there. It's a learning environment. It's a friendly environment. We've just got to have them. And so if anybody cares about libraries, go to the BC, the Board of County Commissioners, and just put your vote in on that one. The Historical Society meets here on the third Thursday of the month at 6:30. They're a good group of people to get to know. They got a lot of fun things going on. Are the chairs still in the other room, Administrator Betts?
Yes,
So
in the
if-
community room.
Yeah, they've got some really neat historical chairs over there. I already spoke about the fact that I had been to the C4 meeting. So another note about Tukwila Springs. So the senior center had done a dinner there, senior center and the food bank. And what they did is they went down, it was last fall, and they took a bunch of food that they had from the food pantry, and Counselor Hartman and a couple of other people were in charge of the cooking. I was part of the prep, and there's a lot of people there, and we had a really good time. And they showed basically how do you make a meal out of what the food bank is giving you, because almost every person down at Tukwila Spring gets a food box every week. They have to eat out of that box. And so the ask was make something out of that box so that maybe they would understand better how to utilize their box. It was a hit. Lots of people, lots of even some of their friends, maybe they'd come along the back patio and grabbed a bowl of soup. And it was just a really fun event. So the Friends of Gladstone Nature Park went in December, and we did a baked potato bar. And there's 55 residents. We had about 25 others that stopped by and just kind of wanted us to leave food in the community refrigerator because that's what they felt more comfortable with. And that was fine. We got to meet a lot of really nice people. And it was important for the Friends of Gladstone Nature Park to put a face with some of the people that live there, as well as they with our group. That group takes care of that park a lot, and we've seen a little bit of vandalism, lots of garbage and things like that. I see a couple of nodding heads. We just, we want people to know that we care about that park, and we care about their well-being in order to utilize that park, but that everybody needs to be stewards. So that was our ask. We felt like we were getting there. So on that note, I am planning yet another dinner at Tukwila Springs, and I'm going to do it on February 13th, which is a Monday. It is the day before Valentine's Day, and I'm doing a spaghetti dinner, very simple. I need help. Bottom line, I need help. I'm going to be able to get some food from the food bank, but it takes, probably 8 or 9 people to put the dinner on and help plan and what we need to bring and all that kind of stuff. So everybody has my city email. If you'd like to help, if you want to be a person down there, you are more than welcome to wear a mask, not wear a mask. It's all up to you. But it is, again, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. And I'm also going to ask that if anybody knows anybody really creative out there, I'd kind of like to do that, something kind of Valentine-y fun to bring to that community. I'm trying to intermix. So again, our city is still short of volunteers for our boards. Please consider it. It's not a huge ask. Don't get me wrong. It is an ask. I understand everybody has things to do, but just consider it. And in closing, I would like to say congratulations to the newly sworn members of this council.
Thank you, Councilor Garlington. In the past, our city council has asked its member, the mayor really has asked the city council members to submit monthly activity reports. Councilor Garlington, continuing with that tradition, submitted a report tonight. It is in tonight's packet. It shows the variety of ways that she serves this city, both as a volunteer and as a city councilor. Some of the things she does because she's a councilor, some of the things she does just because she's a citizen who cares about the community she lives in. And that's really the case with all of us. I am not going to compel councilors this year to submit that kind of a list anymore. So you are off the hook, Mindy, from having to write that each time. But I think it's important for the public to know that the city council members are volunteers sharing our time. There was a discussion on social media recently where somebody posted that they didn't think the city should be spending all this money paying salaries and benefits to 7 people to serve on a council to make decisions. And somebody pointed out they don't get paid, they're volunteers. And the response was, well, what do they live on? What we live on is the satisfaction that comes from serving the community. And some of us also have jobs and have children and grandchildren and volunteer in the schools and volunteer for nonprofits and serve meals to people in supportive housing facilities and are involved in the political process and soon will be asked to do a variety of other things. So understand that we are human beings like you. Now and then you will run into us at the grocery store and want to talk. And I know that my predecessor in this job said that sometimes she had to go to a grocery store out of town because that became a difficult thing, because you don't want to be buttonholed when you're on your way just to pick up some milk and eggs because your spouse said that's what you need right now. So give us a break. Send emails. It's with something we can share with everyone else if you have a concern, and that way we can all be communicating. And the other thing I want to say is one of the things I noticed, the byproduct of the pandemic was after 3 years of either not seeing people at all or only seeing them on Zoom or only seeing them with masks on their face, I forgot a lot of people's names. And if I run into you in public, please, just for the sake of my diminishing memory, remind me of your name because it's helpful, and I will try to remember it as we become more face-to-face in our communications and our interaction with one another. But that's important that we become a community that knows each other, that cares about each other. I also want to thank my family and friends who came tonight. 2 grandsons, Austin and Stin, were here. Stin has left, I think, probably had homework to do, and other friends who supported me in the campaign. I like that you were here tonight. So is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, and I think we'll do this by roll call again. It's been moved by Councilor Roberts and seconded by Councilor Huckabee to adjourn the meeting. Tammy, call the roll.
Counselor Garlington,
Yes.
Counselor Roberts,
Yes.
Counselor Reichel,
Yes.
Counselor Alexander,
Yes.
Counselor Huckabee,
Yes.
Mayor Milch.
Yes, the meeting is adjourned at 8:00 p.m.